It's the weirdest story we've come across for a long time. A Brisbane man, determined to overcome his fear of a house believed haunted, enters it one night and under the floorboards finds a grotesque doll, estimated to be nearly 200 years old. Its evil-looking face is ringed with human hair, and it seems to possess the power to instill fear in human beings. Many who have come in contact with the doll have experienced strange feelings. Children have suffered nightmares. Now, we heard about the doll and took it to Brisbane psychic Keisha, who says it's the refuge of an anguished soul. Brian Anderson reports.
It's very sad. It really is. It's not really a bad doll. It's a sad one. Because everybody hates it so much, you know.
A doll that lay imprisoned beneath an old house for more than half a century. A house that kids used to reckon was haunted. Even told a tale of an old man lurching about the place dragging a sack full of human heads. They wouldn't go near the place, even cross the street, rather than walk past. Was it haunted? What evil lay locked up there? Kerry Walton had to find out. The memory of those childhood fears drew him back, sparked off a search that led to the discovery of something that will live with him for the rest of his life. The grotesque, leering grin of something sitting there, frozen in the beam of his flashlight.
He frightened me. You know, I just didn't know what I'd come across, you know, after I thought it was like it was a little kid, you know. After I realised it wasn't. I still wasn't sure what it was, you know, because I knew I'd come across a few old dolls in my times, but I just didn't realise what this was.
It was not the body of a long-dead child, as Kerry had feared, but a lump of wood, transformed at the hands of a gypsy craftsman 2 centuries ago into the stuff that nightmares are made of. Freed from its dusty prison, the gypsy doll was carried back to Brisbane, a journey that was to lead to Kerry's first encounter with something strange.
Well, when we were bringing him back from Wagga, driving across a lonely stretch of road, we had him in the back of a station wagon, and it was in the night time, and when the cars came in the opposite way, the reflection of the light from the cars made the bag look like it was moving, and I was driving. My brother, John, who was with me, he let it go for about 15 minutes and then put his hand round my shoulder and started saying, "Letta-Me-Out, Letta-Me-Out," and the name stuck, you know. That's the name we've always called him. But after a couple more 100 miles, you know, I started to hear this Letta-Me-Out in the background, you know. I really, but
You brought him back to Brisbane with you. Into the house. How did the family react?
They wanted him downstairs. They didn't want him upstairs, you know. As a matter of fact, the first night that we got back, I had to sleep, because we had my parents staying over, but I had to sleep in the lounge room on a sofa, and he was in a bag beside the bed. And I didn't think it'd ever worry me, but wife got to sleep all right, but he started to bother me then, and I had to move him downstairs before I could go to sleep, you know.
Has he affected other people the same way?
Oh, lots of people. Not many people like him.
Kerry's family weren't the only ones to sense something strange in the doll. Randolph, the family dog, attacked it on sight, and still does, 9 years after it was carried back to the Waltons' home in Brisbane. Experts at the Australian Museum believe the doll is the work of a gypsy craftsman, possibly in Romania.
The chap we talked to down there, he said he was between about 170 to 200 years old or more. And he said, you know, the time it was, the house he was found in was a nice, you know, very old place. And the clothes disintegrating and that, he said that he could have been, he could have been there for at least 60 or 70 years before I found him. Why he was ever put under the house, I don't know.
The strange reaction of those who come into contact with the doll couldn't be explained either, although Brisbane psychic Keisha believes she can explain the story of the gypsy doll.
I get a place very, very barren. Somebody's sitting there very quietly. Someone's died. Making this because somebody's died. A lot of tears have gone into this, but a lot of anger, persecution. Someone has persecuted this person who did this doll. And somebody's persecuted the person who made this doll. People are screaming, people are shouting at him, calling him names, calling him witch. And because of that, the person he loved died in an accident or something, and he's made this. So there's a lot of hate in it, the hate against the people who killed his person he loved.
Is that hate carried in this doll?
Absolutely. The hate, the sorrow, the anguish, pity, the murderous feelings, yes, carried in this doll.
Very off-putting, isn't it? The doll that they've simply called Let-Me-Out. It disturbed Keisha a lot there. I'd find it extremely disturbing if I found anything like that under the floorboards of my house. Well, maybe you've got a story like it. Give us a ring if you like. Meanwhile, we'll take a break and then a story with a somewhat happier ending.